Croissant. This is James, aka JP Harker, coming to you with another video. Today I'm talking about series, and this may or may not be a popular way of looking at them. Recently I've read some books where it's the first book of a series and people have said, oh, the series is really good. And when I've read the first book and it hasn't really done anything for me, people say, oh, continue with it because it gets better. Now, I have very limited reading time, so I tend to think if the first one doesn't grab me, I'm not going to take a chance on the second one. I might take a chance on a new series that I don't know, but I'm not going to take a chance again on book 2. And this has happened to me a few times. It happened with, I know I'm not the intended audience, but it happened with Throne of Glass, which was just dreadful, from my humble point of view, but just awful. And so I thought, well, I'm not reading any more of that. And it happened recently with Malice, where it just didn't do anything for me. There were some nice ideas, but I wasn't invested in any characters, so I didn't bother with that. I don't have those with me. Also happened, again, I'm giving some fairly unpopular opinions, I appreciate, because it also happened with The Final Empire, which was the first of the Mistborn books, where up until about the third quarter, I was just sort of trundling along. It wasn't particularly bad, but it wasn't particularly good either. It was just, it's alright, it's quite interesting, I suppose. And right at the end I thought, oh, that's good. But it wasn't enough to make me think, this is getting me into the series. So I probably won't continue with it, because if I have to spend that much of a book thinking, oh, it's only okay, as I say, I've got limited reading time. I'm probably not going to continue with it. Same thing with Trudy Canavan's Magician's Guild. Again, I know a lot of people love this book and they love this series. And people say, oh, the series is brilliant. And of course the other one was The Poppy War. They said, what a brilliant series. But this didn't grab me either. I spent most of this book thinking, it's alright. I'll get through it. It wasn't, none of these have been so bad that I've just not finished them, but none of them have been good enough to capture me into that series. And I thought I would make a video and sort of put my money where my mouth is with this opinion. See this? This is Wildcat. This is the first book of my series. If you read this and you enjoy it, continue the series. Brilliant. If you read this and you think, it's alright, by all means, take a chance on the rest of the series. If you read this and you find it was a chore, don't carry on with the series. Because if you go into the next book with a negative attitude, you'll probably come out of it with a negative attitude. And that's one more person saying, oh, that's rubbish. You might read this, not like it much, and that's the end of it, and that's fine. But this is the way I approach books, so I'm going to state it for the record. I don't mind if people do it with my books either. If you like it, great, keep going. If you think it's alright, maybe give it a chance. But if you read this and thought this was a chore to get through, I'm sorry to break it to you, my books are written in a fairly similar way. If you found this a chore, if this wasn't to your taste, the rest of it's unlikely to be to your taste as well, so carry on with it if you like it, but don't if you don't. That's my short public service announcement and so justifying my opinion, because I know some people say, oh, you should invest in a series, it gets good, it improves as it goes along. And no, I disagree with that. If the first one doesn't grab you, at least to some extent, time is short, tempus fugit. I've got limited time to read, I'm going to try something else. So, yeah, there's not a great deal more to say on that front, so these were only okay and I'm not carrying on with it. This, of course, is great. And that's going to be my short plug at the end. So, this is James, aka JP Harker. Well,